Our project today is going to be using these printables that I have created for you. 4 of these 11 by 14 frames and some foam core because our inspiration has come from Pottery Barn. I could not believe that they were charging $521 for these prints. The sizing on the frames is pretty much the exact same, and I'm doing this project for $6. So you're going to take the backing from the frame, you're going to trace it onto some foam core, and you're going to just simply cut out 4 of those. Then you're going to take your frame outside and you're going to spray all 4 of them whatever color you want. I went with a pretty tan taupey color, and then you're going to come back inside while that's drying. Cut down some strips of cardstock. I did it where it's 1 by 12 inches long, and then you're simply going to glue a border around your free printable. You could go through the efforts of matting it and cutting out the foam core, but friends, this looks just as good, and people typically cannot tell that it's not an actual store-bought mat. It looks almost exactly the same. So then what you're going to do is you're going to pop your foam core inside the frame, and you're doing it this way so that you have a nice straight print. You're going to go ahead and glue that in, and then once you've got that all straightened out for the 4 art pieces, you're going to take that back out, insert your glass once your frame is dry, and then you're going to put your foam core artwork right back inside. And then on the back, I just used some twine to create a hang up option. I found this charger at the Dollar Tree, and I have a bunch of these stickers on hand, and it's so cool when a project just evolves into something I was not expecting. Now, I knew I wanted to make this charger have a really fun sign on it, and I knew that I wanted it to look coastal farmhouse. But I didn't know the direction I was going to go as I was putting down these stickers. I knew that I wanted to paint it, but I wanted texture. So I'm going to show you what texture it's going to eventually end up being, but first let's get the stickers on. So I have a trick whenever I'm doing stickers like this to get a negative paint space. I like to stick my stickers down really well. I rub them, making sure there's no crinkles, there's no weird lifts, or there's no, just basically any bubbles. Smooth it out as smooth as you can, rubbing them down nicely. When they are all stuck down, I went with "This is the Life" on my sign. I thought that was kind of a fun beach idea. You're sitting there on the sand by the coast or a lake, wherever you would want to be on a nice summer day. I thought "This is the Life" is what I want to put. I now am going to take the color that I'm going to be working with, which is white, and I tap on the paint. I don't go super heavy on the first coat. We want to create a seal so that the paint doesn't sneak underneath the sticker. Once I had it dry with my heat gun, I then went over with a couple more layers of this paint. Coming right up to the edge where the pattern and the galvanized metal look meet, I'm going to bring all the white in, a couple of layers, like I said, making sure it's very wet and still not dry. I then am going to take some of this white sand I get from the Dollar Tree, and I'm going to simply just roll that all around in the paint. This is the easiest way to do this. I decided not to go with Mod Podge because we don't want to stick the stickers down permanently, and the Mod Podge will definitely do that. So I'm going to leave it with the wet paint, come on with the sand, and don't worry, I'm going to show you how I'm going to seal it in just a second. Now at this point I got all the extra sand off, and the texture is so cool. I'm now removing the stickers. I'm using my weeding tool from my Cricut. You can use anything to pick this up, an X-Acto knife, whatever you have that's pointy that can lift it. And I'm going to simply remove all of the stickers. Now you can see I do have a little bit of bleeding that came through. It's not a big deal. I'm going to take my weeding tool and a wipey, and I'm going to clean up the last of those little edges. But you can see how me doing those steps really prevented a lot of the bleeding. This is how I seal it. I'm taking some extra hold hairspray, and I'm going to really saturate the sand. That is going to lock it all together. And if you still feel like it needs a little bit more, at that point, once the hairspray is completely dry, go ahead and add on Mod Podge if you want at that point. Now, to clean up the edges, I'm going to use some nautical rope. I'm going to go all the way around where the paint and the pattern meet up. And then to conceal that little piece, because I had a rope that was just so long enough, you can get a piece that's long enough. You can add a bow, you can add whatever you want. But because I'm going for a coastal farmhouse look on this, I'm going to take a shell, add a piece of foam inside of it with E6000 and hot glue so it really bonds together. And then I'm going to come in with this cream eucalyptus, this very textured summer grass floral from the Dollar Tree, and then as well as this boxwood. I'm bringing all these neutral tan colors together to get that farmhouse look, but also a coastal look. I'm going to add some more hot glue. You can see I came in on both sides of the shell with that greenery, and then I'm going to just simply glue it down. And at this point, you have the most beautiful sign for just a couple dollars. For this project, we're going to be using this gold tray from the Dollar Tree, which I think is so beautiful. It has such a high-end look. I took a piece of paper, I cut a pattern to get these sizes of the drop cloth and the cream burlap, as well as some shells is what we're going to be using today. Now, once I had the size for my fabric, I went ahead and just glued both pieces in. Using my hot glue, I'm going around the corners and then pressing down the fabric nice and straight. I'm doing the drop cloth first and then the burlap so that you don't see the gold poking through the thinness of the burlap, but it's still giving that really beautiful coastal look. Glue it all down, but remember when you're working with hot glue and burlap, it does like to seep through, so I would recommend working very quickly or using a popsicle or some type of a brayer to smooth out the fabric without getting your fingers burnt. Now I'm finding 3 shells that are the same size, and I get my shells from the Dollar Tree as well. And then I'm going to take some foam and cut these down to size. If you just glue the shell onto the fabric, it's going to look messy around the edges of the shell because the glue is going to be seeping everywhere. So I would recommend cutting down little pieces of foam, adding some E6000 and hot glue, sneaking that down in there. It fits nicely and it actually lets you smash it in there where it fits perfectly. Once you've got all 3 shells prepared, then you can take your hot glue and glue that directly to the fabric. This is going to allow it to hold in place. It's not going to fall off. It's made well. That's my favorite kind of craft project, is when we do a good job making it well so it looks high-end. And surprise, you made it. Your guests, when they come into your home and they see these kind of projects, will say, oh, that's so pretty. And then you'll get the honor of saying, I made that, which is such a fun feel for a crafter. Now, to clean up the edges of our fabric, I'm going to take the nautical white rope. I'm going to go all the way around, and at the very bottom, you don't have to do this at the bottom, but I want it to look farmhouse. I'm going to use a chalkboard garden tag and just kind of clean up where the ropes are coming together. So I'm going to take that garden tag, I'm going to pop off the stick from the back, and then I'm going to glue it into place. This is super easy to do. I think there's like 4, maybe 5 that come in a pack for $1.25. My favorite deal. And I always get them around spring, summertime. And it's really easy to really give a farmhouse look by adding these little tags. Then to dress it up a little bit more, I'm going to add a button and a bow. Surprise, surprise, it's a Heidi project. But I'm going to add a burlap bow with a golden button to go along with the golden tray. And I'm going to glue that all into place. It looks so high-end and coastal farmhouse at this point. I love how this looks. Don't forget, if you're going to hang it up, flip it over, add some nice dollops of glue, put down a rope, glue that into place so it all locks in nicely. Then at this point, you have such a beautiful project to hang up somewhere in your home that is such a showstopper. I can't wait for you to try this one. I know you will love it if you love coastal farmhouse. This next project is going to be using these 3 canvases that are 8 by 10 and then these jumbo sticks that I found at Walmart. So what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and cut away the fabric. You all have seen me do this a million times here on my channel. If you've been here for a while, I love using these frames because you can use that wood accent and be able to do it on a very nice budget. So go ahead and cut away the fabric so we can use that canvas fabric for another project on another day. And we're going to go ahead and pull away all of that excess that we don't need that's wrapping around the canvases, and then just continue to do that to the other 2 frames. So now what we're going to do at this point, we're going to add some hot glue and we are going to just glue those right together. And then we're going to do it to the other one as well. So we have a nice long piece that we're going to be working with. And today we are going to be making a shutter. Now, I think shutters are the cutest thing to use in decor. I love using them with layering, and I just love how they look. And you can paint them whatever color you want and really just, I don't know, have a good time decorating your home with them. I think they're super cute for that farmhouse look. So what I'm going to do is, once I got my hot glue on there, I'm going to staple gun them together. I'm going to link my staple gun down below. I love my staple gun. I talk about it all the time here on my channel. I think it's something to add to your craft room when you're doing home decor pieces. And at this point, we're going to go ahead and take those jumbo sticks. We're going to cut them down to size. You saw that I put it underneath the frame, created my cut lines, and now I'm just using some scissors to cut them off. Make sure you use an old pair of scissors so you don't mess up your really nice ones. But once you've got that first template, you're going to go ahead and just trace them on to the other ones. Now I figured out I need about 8 to 9 inside each one of my frames. But the thing is I say 8 to 9 because it just depends on how close or wide you want those blades to be. If you want there to be more of a spacing, I would go with an 8, versus if you want them tight, I would do more of a 9. So the very first one, you're going to angle it down just so you saw me do here, and then you're going to flip it over on the back side and you're going to add that supportive glue to the back so that it stays on there nice and secure. And just make sure you like the positioning before it dries, and then you're going to flip over and you're going to just keep adding on all of these popsicle sticks that look like shutter blades. And you can see here that when you put them closer, they don't have as much of a spacing between them. So on this one, I'm going to do 8 of them so that you can see that it gives it a little bit of that spacing between the blades, which I like that look. But if you want them to be a little bit closer, you can do 9, and then you can just push them in a little bit tighter in there. So it's just your preference on which one you like. Now I'm sure there's going to be some people who will say that you can go to the Habitat for Humanity Restore Home stores, and it's true, you can get these there, but it just depends. Sometimes they still charge a lot for these there too. And I made this shutter piece for about $4 and I'll say 25 cents. And it is just so cute. I personally really enjoyed this DIY. If you like getting your hands on a project and you love that farmhouse look, this is definitely a project to try. Plus, the idea of it can be taken in so many different directions. You can do so many more shutters. You can do 9 frames to create a 3x3 space and hang that up on a wall and put a wreath on it. How adorable could that be? There's just so many fun things. And then once you're all done with everything, you can go ahead and paint them, you can stain them. I decided to go with a rustic look because that's the look I'm going with for my decor here in my home. So I'm going to just add on some white paint, and I'm going to just dry brush on the paint. I don't want too much. I want to still show some of that wood coming through. I want them to look old. So I'm just adding in some paint and taking my time and going over it and just having fun and making sure I'm getting in all the crevices that I want. And then I decided to also add in some other colors as well. I think it's important to make sure that when you're doing these, if you're going for that rustic look, to add in a little bit of a brown or a kind of a brownish gray color. That really gives it that nice look that you're trying to get with that. And or the other thing that's really cool too is that you can paint these a solid color, like I mentioned earlier, with the color theme that you have in your home. So you can stack them up with a whole bunch of cute decor on a shelf, or you can hang them on the wall. There is just so many fun possibilities with these. I love how they turned out so much. I hope you enjoyed this video today. Thanks so much for being my friend, and until the next episode, bye friends.